Marconi Stallions in the Palace for round 4 of the 2025 Men's National Premier League. Last week, the Marconi Stallions defeated Rockville 2-1. A tough performance, but a win that was needed. It's a long season and it is a good win to get some confidence. Tonight, your Marconi Stallions will be playing St George FC, who went down to Mantua 3-2 in their last clash. Marconi sit third on the NPL table, while St George FC sit 15th on the ladder. Look at the starting lineups for today. First, your Marconi Stallions. Number 1, their goalkeeper, James Hilfer. Number 2, Tyron Byrne. Number 4, Anton Lenarich. Number 5, Lachlan Rivers. Number 8, James Bayless. And number 9, Carl Cementi. Number 14, Jake True. Number 17, Damien Ennis. Number 18, George Daniel. Number 23, the captain of Brandon Miller. Number 24, Mate Busek. The bench, number 3, Cameron Wheelas. Number 6, Dom Costanzo. Number 11, Willislav Poverty. Number 12, Julian Monge. Number 16, Liam Yuli. Number 20, Patrick Williams. The St George FC today. Number 3, the captain, Troy Danaskos. Number 5, Nicholas Kaloglu. Number 6, Pat O'Shea. Number 7, Aiden O'Shea. Number 8, Evangelo Solis. Number 10, Jaden Casella. Number 14, Justin Boone. Number 15, Brian Antonio. Number 17, Thomas Brown. Number 17, Jaden Cito. And number 99, the goalkeeper, Mackenzie Siren. On the bench, we have Harrison Farrow, Kota Toyuka. Number 1, the goalkeeper on the bench today for St George FC, Monte Stark Harris. Number 12, Thomas Young. Number 13, Sunday Yona. And number 16, Caden Wright. Marconi Stallions FC acknowledges and appreciates the support of its 2025 sponsors. Brian Royals seek expert legal advice. That's what they do. Stratford Refrigeration, Alerts Constructions, Peter Warren Ford, Legia and Marca Football. The 2025 Marconi Stallions home jersey is now available for purchase at the ticket gate, and a limited quantity of our 2024 Marconi Stallions merchandise is also available at discount prices from Club Marconi Reception. The Football New South Wales Men's National Premier League competition is proudly sponsored by Maya, official match ball of the New South Wales NPL.
Hello and welcome to Marconi Stadium on this beautiful Saturday evening as the Marconi Stallions host St George FC in round 4 of the NPL New South Wales men's competition for 2025. Bo Clements with you here live for Football New South Wales to take you through all of tonight's action. For St George FC, coached by Brian Ree, number 3 Troy Danaskos, number 5 Nicholas Calagiru, number 6, Paddy O'Shea. Number 7, Aidan O'Shea. Number 8, Evangelosaurus. 14, Justin Poon. 27, Jaden Cito. 99, Mackenzie Siren. 10, Jaden Casella. 15, Bay Antonio. And number 17, Thomas Brown. On the bench, number 13, Sunday Yona. Kota Toyuka. Number 1, Yonsei Stark Harris. 16, Caden Wright. Harrison Farrow. And number 12, Thomas Dunn. For the Marconi Stallions, looking to continue their unbeaten run to 4 games in 2025. Headed by Peter Tsakenis in the coaching staff. We'll line up this evening with the following. Number 1, James Hilton. Number 2, Tyrone Burney. Number 4, Anton Milanich. Number 5, Lachlan Griffiths. Number 8, James Bayliss. Number 9, Kyle Chimenti. 14, Jake True. 17, Damien Tsakenis. 18, George Daniel. 23, Brendan Vella, and number 24, Marte Bujek. On the bench, number 3, Cameron Windust. Number 6, Dominic Costanzo, returning for his first appearance potentially of the season. Number 11, Milislav Popovic. 12, Julian Monge. 16, Liam Yulee, and number 20, Patrick Williams. And tonight really is a tale of 2 polar opposite stories. Coming into this round 4 fixture, St George really struggling to get the wheels turning for their 2025 campaign. They've been able to score in all 3 of their opening fixtures, but have not been able to take a single point home with them. A late winner last week at home at Button Park as they lost, to the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. A late goal from João Pedro Oliveira Santos. Team stomped his authority on that fixture, and Marconi picking up the late 3 points. A real smash and grab effort with Kyle Chimenti scoring with a little over 10 to go last week out at Rockdale. Michael Viner, our centre referee for this evening. Assistant referee Hayden Kay on the left-hand side. Aranath Gobinath on the right, and our 4th official, Rowan Fisher. Marconi getting us kicked off, running left to right in their all-blue strip. As they have become so accustomed to St George in their traditional red and white, as they look to go early over the top for Poon, but Hilton quick off his line. So a bit of a shift around in positions this week. Jake True sliding over to the right-hand side. And what is, from the get-go, looking to be somewhat of a 4-4-2 with Tsakenis and Chimenti both leading the line. So over the top, Casella. Again, Hilton confident in his ability as a sweeper keeper. No Marko Jesic this evening for the Stallions, but they're bolstered in attack with the return of Dominic Costanzo on the bench. Burney. Loses out there. And absolutely hacked into O'Shea. And Tsakenis, in the first 90 seconds of proceedings, will head into Michael Viner's black book. Paddy O'Shea in the holding midfield role this evening. Mark Rodich missing from the St. George side this evening. O'Shea playing in the back line last week, but it's tended to float between the 6 and centre half roles periodically. Griffiths. Bernie into Bayliss. See the dust flicking up, and a poor back pass from Griffiths. Luckily, Hilton sharp and aware to that. Siren will let it caress the touchline and go for a goal kick. Look at the high press from Marconi already looking to suffocate St. George. It's Griffiths. Fends off Poon. Vela, the skipper, opting for Mlinaric. Daniel. Cleared there by Thomas Brown. Some late drama at Popondetta between Rockdale and Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Be sure to check out the very least the highlights of that when they are released. Absolute worldie of a winner. I won't spoil it just yet. Kalajiru. It's lost out there, and George Daniel can get a delivery in for Chimenzi just over his head. And Marconi camping in this St. George half, but they might fall victim to the counter-attack. St. George let them off easy on that occasion. Hilton looked to tee it up for True, but St. George skipper Troy Danaskos, a tough opponent in the air. O'Shea. Danaskos with room to explore. Brown. Here for Kalajiru. Just clipped over the side by Bujek. Stun still just in a little awkward spot. Floodlights yet to be turned on at the Palace. Paddy O'Shea with a flick. Souris giving it back to Tsakenis, what he gave to O'Shea in the opening 90 seconds. The idea was there. Sailed well over the head of Tyron Burney. Saurus, the poor touch to return for Danaskos. True. Marconi will maintain this real estate in the St. George defensive third. True, looking to roll the shoulder. Ball to the penalty spot, and Bushek first Shot on target. Right into the gloves of Mackenzie Siren. True given far too much time to get that delivery in, and St. George can come through the middle here, but standing strong is Griffiths. St. George not afraid to take the game to Marconi. Danaskos backed out to Saurus. Paddy O'Shea. Marconi looking to step up and press St. George as they go back, looking for opportunities. Cito forced all the way back. Just only a moment ago, we're on the edge of Marconi's 18-yard box. Saurus likes to leave it for Cito. O'Shea won really well there by Bernie. Now True looks to get on the inside of Cito. Feed a ball through for Sekenis. Promising in glimpses the opening 8 minutes from Jake True. Siren put under pressure. Both Bernie and O'Shea have misread it, and much to the fortune of Justin Poon. Justin Poon flies one. And an easy save for James Hilton, but had to be made. Daniel. Milinaric. You can just see the dust flicking up. I think there might be sand on the pitch. Did have the sprinklers on in between the 20s and first grade. And what about the little footwork from Bernie to find his way through the corridor? George Daniel riding the challenge of Brown. Sekenis, they're forgetting who got the last touch. St. George, they haven't come to Marconi and look to hide in their shell for 90 minutes. They've looked to take the game to Marconi right from the off. A result here tonight would be a perfect message to themselves and the clubs amongst them down the bottom of the ranks. The competition so tightly congested, so much quality across the 16 clubs. Bernie floats onto the back post, teeing up for Bouchek. St. George stuck to their job thus far. Daniel looking for options. Opts for Bouchek in the corner. 3 red shirts all around him, and he's able to win a corner. Kalajiru very heavily disagreeing with that call. Michael Viner right in the prime position to make that call. Bouchek will deliver in for Marconi. To the back post it goes, looking for Milnaric. Sekenis dropping the shoulder. Dealt with there by O'Shea. Marconi with another set piece. Vella giving George Daniel the nod to head over to the edge of the area. And not even his blistering speed from the youngster. Able to keep the soaring effort from Bayliss from creeping out over the sideline. Tsakenis forcing the final touch off Kalajiru. Vela. Milinaric once again with Griffiths. Looking to spread this St. George defence. Try and create an opening for their front four to exploit. True, looking to play on the last shoulder. Great switch from Bayliss out to Bouchek. Daniel, when he had called for it, was on, but by the time Bouchek got the ball out, it was a St. George defender right in the back pocket. Jaden Casella having to drop back and cover with George Daniel and Bouchek, both keen on firing up this left-hand side for Marconi. Griffiths floating one out to Bouchek. Daniel able to continue the run for Marconi. Alert defending from Evangelosaurus. Bouchek again. Would have either been handball or goal kick. Right along the goal line, so Siren get us back underway from inside his 6-yard box. A lively start from both sides, but Marconi are starting to tighten the vice on St. George. Bernie with crucial block there. Danaskos. Bernie and Danaskos both sliding in the corner. St. George will get their first delivery of the night. Casella flows through a sea of bodies. Marconi clear their lines, and now St. George perhaps with a chance to enjoy a spell of possession. Casella lets one rip and immediately caught the touch off the Marconi defender. Casella again looks to be taking set pieces from both sides tonight. To the front post this time, and a flick on from Saurus. How has Hilton managed to keep that one out? Still more work for the Stallions. O'Shea just creeping at the back post. Milinaric with the clearing header. Tsakenis looking to be a nuisance. Taurus winning the challenge with sending the ball back 30-odd yards back into St. George territory. Will allow Marconi to come out and reaffix their formation. Daniel just put off Kalajiru enough there. It's looked quite impressive as George Daniel, since making his way into a regular first team starter, made his way to Marconi from the Central Coast Mariners youth setup. It's Bayless into Tsakenis. Back again with Tsakenis. The touch, a tad too heavy. Cito looking to come forward, but no option on the left-hand side. Milinaric with an uncontested header. Tsakenis will get the drop. Tsakenis going to ground and bringing Cito with him. Chimenzi with the initial setup. Griffiths. Great weight of pass for Jake True. Who's in behind here? Jake True! Jaden Cito with another block to prevent that ball across the face. Griffiths, such poise to tee it up so delicately for True. And Aranath Gobanath. Another Marconi throw in. And offside for Vela. Relief momentarily for St. George. As I've mentioned before, haven't looked too uncomfortable in the opening 20 minutes. Still had plenty of work to do and will continue to do so as Griffiths with a blunder at the back, able to make amends. True. And Vela now slicing. Bayless able to get Marconi out of trouble. It's Bouchek. Wins the free kick by Antonio. A little too eager there with the sliding challenge. Not sure if the Marko Jesic absence has been a direct result or direct correlation with Bouchek coming into the starting lineup, but it's been lively in this opening quarter of the match. Vela floating one in. Siren commanding his 18-yard. No Franco Meyer either for Marconi. As I mentioned earlier, Dominic Costanzo is a substitute this evening for the first time in 2025. Kalajiru has found his way to the edge of the Marconi area. That attack will come to naught. Mlinaric. Shouts from either side, but George Daniel will end up with the football. Vela. O'Shea to Aidan O'Shea. Looking like St. George are opting for the counter-attack, but they're just not able to get it going quick enough. Even when they do, the likes of Mlinaric and Griffiths are so alert to the danger in behind. Bay Antonio. The burst past Tyron Burney, but Marconi having arguably the quickest fullback pairing in the competition. Mlinaric makes a run through space and feeds through Damien Tsakenis. Damien Tsakenis here on the right. The shot is blocked. Casella looked to go immediately on the counter, but Marconi so well at blitzing this St. George attack and nullifying it immediately. Both sides are just starting to settle into their rhythms, Marconi especially. Just two different ideas there between Tsakenis and True. Burney back to Griffiths. The rate at which Marconi are forcing the turnover. Sure, Peter Tsakenis will be quite pleased with that defensive tenacity as Bouchek looks to cut it back to Tsakenis. Marconi will have another corner. So 25 minutes played here. Still goalless at Marconi Stadium. Have a quick glance around the scoreboards. Spirit FC continue their great run of form. Just finishing up 2-0 there at home to St. George City. And the Wolves 2-1 up against the Central Coast Mariners in the 72nd minute. This one, much like the last, over everyone's heads. O'Shea. Sito, and always looked like slicing coming across the body like that. Still St. George continue. Danaskos, lovely little flick over the top, but equal to it. The body check from Griffiths to send away Justin Poon. Tsakenis, almost able to find his strike partner, Chimenti. O'Shea opening one up, and will win a corner for Marconi, for St. George, my apologies. Sharks and Olympic having also just kicked off. Casella floats onto the back post. First touch was off a Marconi head. That's picked off by Bayliss, but His touch, return serve straight back to Aidan O'Shea. Both sides unable to capitalise on these set pieces early on. Patrick O'Shea coming the closest. Souris to Antonio. Touch. Poor from Kalajiru. Milinaric bumping off Casella not once but twice. Vela. I'm going to slot it through for Bernie. It's a great use of the body, and still with it is Tyron Bernie. Right in that frame, 5 red shirts. Viner spotting a shirt tug off a Marconi player, so St. George will regain possession. True. Inside to Vela. Goes over the top looking for Chimenti. Bernie and Poon having a great tussle. Two young prospects with plenty of football left in their legs. Either here in the NPL New South Wales competition or abroad. Bernie, a part of the Premiership winning side with Blacktown City a couple of years ago. Danaskos slotting one that through exquisitely for Casella. Shouts of handball off Griffiths, but falling on deaf ears. Bouchek falling to the ground, but continuing with it, and Sekenes just wanted it on the inside shoulder of Thomas Brown. Things just not quite clicking yet for Marconi. They're coming very close though. George Daniel, haven't said his name in a while, and perhaps for a good reason. St. George really not wanting to try and come down this left-hand side. Plenty of other quality left backs who have held this position at Marconi. Giorgio Speranza, one that immediately comes to mind. How's this? Griffiths in behind, cutting it back, and 1-0 for Marconi. Easy as you like for the Stallions. Damian Sekenes opens the scoring here. And the high press for Marconi pays off. Griffiths, who initially won the ball. And I was almost bewildered by his decision to play that square ball. But with the finish from Damian Sekenes, I can't really have any criticism of that pass. Really the quality of play now reflected in the scoreline. Now backs well and truly up against the wall for St. George. Damien Sekenis, the only goal scorer and the only one in the book too. Daniel on the half turn in traffic. Bayless. Casella just looking to cut out the passing lanes, but only opens up another one with Bayless. Bushek looking to get in on the action. Bushek just a barricade in the way for Aidan O'Shea. He's copped a bit of a beating in the opening half hour. Souris is given something of a hospital pass there in between Vella and Bayless. To Kennis. Just trailing offside. Cito under pressure from Tsakenis. Milinaric. Vella. Bushek. Brought down by Vella. Captain for the Stallions for this evening with Jesic out. True. The teasing delivery to the back post. And Bushek lets one fly. So a little under 10 minutes left in this first half. Bo Clements with you here for Football New South Wales. This round 4 clash in the NPL New South Wales men's competition. Poon just unable to find a red shirt. True looking to slot it through to Chimensi. It's another name who's been fairly quiet in recent times as George Daniel is dispossessed. Casella looks to work his way down this right-hand side. George Daniel making amends. Just getting a talking to from Viner with the pull to ground on Casella. Advantage was played. Bay Antonio into Casella. Vella sweeps it clear. St. George not even opting to deliver a cross into the area with Griffiths and Milinaric just so physically imposing. Thought perhaps the loss of Nathan Milgate in the off-season may have hurt the Stallions, but they've well and truly gone from strength to strength. Kalajiru. Back with Souris. O'Shea. All of his wealth of experience there to see True coming in on his blind side. Danaskos's delivery unable to be connected with by a St. George player. Souris. Antonio. Daniel read it much better than O'Shea. Casella. Danaskos. Might have a go himself here, cutting into the right. Got it onto the left foot, but didn't have the body opened up wide enough. O'Shea into Saurus. Danaskos, with his back to goal, is forced to retreat. Poon down this left-hand side. Just that first set-up touch from Poon really not doing him any favours. The NPL New South Wales women's competition and League One women's both kicking off next weekend as well. On Sunday the 9th of March. Football season well and truly back into swing here in New South Wales. Siren. Antonio just getting it round the corner. Saurus. Now Milinaric wanting to have a run. Griffiths taking no chances with his partner out of position. Gives Anton Milinaric the opportunity to track back. Still 5 to play in the first half here at Marconi Stadium. The opening goal from Damien Sekenis in the 32nd minute, if you are just joining us. And a yellow card in the 2nd minute, also from Damien Sekenis. Still feel like there is a bit more to unpack from this Marconi side that could really have another goal or two, and who knows, maybe one might come now as Daniel floats one in. Bernie. Bay Antonio able to keep it in, but really only to the pleasure of Griffiths. Milinaric looking to spray one out to Jake True. Gobinath raising the flag. St. George will get back underway. Souris. Bayless just skipping his way through challenges. Now with Bouchek. Through the legs of Kalajiru. But in double coverage, is unable to break free. And then, to make matters worse, pulling Saurus to the ground. Danaskos into Antonio. Casella, who's the most lively of the St. George attack, and nearly clipped onto the back post. Hilton with an almighty fingertip save. Poon nearly catching James Hilton out there at the back post. Ball from Bay Antonio was delectable for Justin Poon to try and connect with. And this is where St. George have looked the most dangerous. That in-swinger from Casella. Not on this occasion, though. It's big Jimmy Hilton. Milinaric turning it over to St. George. Souris now through for Poon. His touch not forgiving. Griffiths able to get it out in time. Danaskos came absolutely bombing down to try and intercept. And now I would not be surprised if Mate Bushek is, well, not even a word of warning here from Viner after bringing down Kalajiru. And the 1 minute, the call from the fourth official. Thankfully, no injuries to bring a stoppage to proceedings thus far. Hopefully, we'll continue that way into the evening. Griffiths and Milinaric so well at reading and timing that challenge to come and intercept. And now Kalajiru will be the first St. George player in the book for this evening, giving a bit back to Mate Bujek. Delivery from Bayliss. It's Kenneth at the back post, but Bernie will end up with it. Siren with the last touch of the half. As we'll go into the sheds, Marconi Stallions with the 1-0 lead over St. George FC. We'll return back shortly for the second half here at Marconi Stadium.
Marconi Stallions acknowledges and appreciates the support of its 2025 sponsors. Brian's Lawyers need expert legal advice, that's what they do. Strathbrook Refrigeration, Alerts Constructions, Peter Warren Ford, Legia and Marca Football. And don't forget that we have our 2025 Marconi Stallions home jersey now available for purchase at the ticket gate. And a limited quantity of our 2024 Marconi Stallions merchandise is also available at discounted prices from Club Marconi Reception. Our major sponsor, Brian's Lawyers, are holding free, yes, that's right, free legal consultations this Thursday, 6th of March, right here at Club Marconi from 3 to 6:30 p.m. Need advice or legal representation? Don't miss this free opportunity. Conditions apply. We'll be back soon for the second half, right here at Marconi Stadium. Stallions welcome back Marconi and St. George FC to the pitch. So you're in the crowd, it's time to bring the energy for the next half. We have 45 minutes plus at a time. The fellas need you, they need your support. Well, let's go Stallions!
Welcome back for the second half here at Marconi Stadium. The Stallions looking to extend on their one-goal lead, and St. George looking to claw this goal deficit back and finally get in the points in 2025. Doesn't look like any changes have been made personnel-wise. Brown fires it into Casella. Daniel just overstepping his boundaries there and getting through the back of Casella. O'Shea looking to play more vertically, it seems, as that was the plan in the final 10 minutes of that first half. Just short prods through this Marconi back line. Fallen here through to Bay Antonio. Hilton only a minute into the second half, but still warm from his contributions in the opening 45. Marconi will know that one goal certainly not enough, and even in stoppage time, the result is not entirely safe, as they found out in round one on this very field against Blacktown City. Jaden Cito, his best attempt at a specky. Bernie looking for the flick on from True. Bayless. Touch was evading him, but did well to pass it on to Brendan Vella. Milinaric able to work his way through one challenge, but caught up in another immediately. Great combination here from Marconi as Bushek down the left-hand side. But Hayden Kay's flag is raised to pull him up in his tracks. Souris losing his balance, but able to recover in time. Brown, first real time that St. George are looking to opt for the diagonal. Bernie, long throw for Marconi. Aiden O'Shea crept back over to the left-hand side. Hugged to the ground by Tyron Burney. Casella back to Antonio, who started to grow into the game as it grew. The last 15 minutes really where he started to make his mark. And here he is now. Going to get it through to Kalajiru, but Bushek read it better on that occasion. Chimenti. Antonio. Crucial touch from Jake True to get it away from Danaskos. And he hits Sekenis. Nearly getting the shoulder in front of Jaden Sito. Griffiths picking the pocket, and he might go all the way here. Lachlan Griffiths! Agonisingly close. Both centre halves for Marconi, eager to bomb on forward and get on the score sheet. As I mentioned before, that ability to just read the pass and pick it off. Kennis just has to be careful there with that shirt tug. Already Sutherland Sharks down 3-1 against Olympic. Absolute goal fest out there at Valentine. It's Bernie. Just stopped as he looked to make inroads. And Sekenis. Still with it, Sekenis. Bushek looking to create half a yard. Bushek wrapping it around. St. George falling asleep there, allowing Damien Sekenis room to run. I'm sure if it was on the opposite side of the pitch, he would have let it fly. Still, just look at how high this press is from Marconi. The back four are on the halfway line and winning their battles. And the front six really are all just in a massive chokehold. As Vela looks to clip one in for the attacking two, but it drops right in between Chimenti and Tsakenis. Great defensive awareness just from Daniel on this near side to close down the options. He elects to let it roll out over the side. Chimenti looking to get the flick on. We'll end up back with Daniel. Casella gave him no other option but the sideline. Poon. We're going to open up the play. Go down the left-hand side as Saurus. Aiden O'Shea will look to come right back the other way. Casella was able to keep it in, but only to the benefit of George Daniel. Chimenti, much better this time. Surgical precision there from Daniel. Ushek is just unable to make profit from his run. Milinaric getting the better of Danaskos in the air. Casella. Danaskos, first time, that's dangerous. Milinaric headed it away but won't go out. Delivery again from Casella. And it drops to Saurus. Hilton giving a pretty merciless spray to Jake True. Allowing Danaskos that time to get that first time volley. And the header from Cito nearly playing into the hands of Marconi as it ricocheted straight off Kyle Chimenti. The late goal scorer last week to seal that winner out at Rockdale Illenden. Milinaric squeezes it through for True. Looking to create some separation with Danaskos to the back post to Chimenti. Right on cue. So I was speaking about last week, Kyle Chimenti nearly makes it 2 from 2. We're going to squeeze it right up against the post at the near stick. Mackenzie Siren has had plenty to do this afternoon. Another delivery on its way. Back post it goes. Header from Milinaric. Another big save from Siren. This time James Bayliss. Finers just momentarily stop proceedings. Pat O'Shea, a bit shaken up. It's back underway. Much better from Daniel this time. And Marconi will stay camped for the moment here. Bernie will trudge over for the throw-in. A little over half an hour left here at Marconi Stadium. Bo Clements with you here for Football New South Wales. Damien Sekenis with the only goal of the match thus far. Jake True and the Stallions looking to change that though. Bernie into Vella. Bernie just a sea of bodies to fight against. Troy Danaskos, one of the very few remaining from that promoted St. George side. Still showing the leadership and defensive tenacity of the League One side. St. George make their first couple of substitutions. Number 14, Justin Poon, off for number 13, Sunday Yonk.
And Sunday Yonk for St. George FC, will replace number 14, Justin Poon.
So number 35, Harrison Farrow, also on for the number 7 of Aidan O'Shea. Milinaric absolutely blistering off his line. And I think half of it has got to come down to obviously his ability to read the lines, but just having that monster body come rushing at you certainly be off-putting for most. Marconi turning the press on now. Milinaric upending Yona. So Farrow has moved to that number 9 role in place of Poon. Looks to be a bit more of a physical matchup with Milinaric now. Already getting a bit chirpy between the two. Cito. Saurus just doesn't get the purchase on the ball. Chimensi into Bouchek. Daniel. The stutter not putting off Yona. Griffiths floats one up to True. Vela. Over the top now for Tsakenis. Flag has stayed down. Brown on his own on the 6-yard line, able to clear. Bernie put off there. Assistant referee Hayden Kay saying Bay Antonio did get that last touch. Griffiths, lovely footwork. Here's Bernie now. And Danaskos again. It's been quite difficult for Marconi to come down their right side against Troy Danaskos. He's had experience playing in a back 5, back 3 and back 4 for St. George in my time covering them. I wasn't quite sure what happened off the ball there, but things getting a bit messy now. Casella winning it legally though. It's Farrow that went to grounds in the backfield, back on his feet now. Antonio, that's a great ball through. And Milinaric again, as I mentioned before, just steaming out towards Yona. At the very least, made the angle much tighter. Blocked off the delivery. Casella delivers again. Nodded away by Milinaric, and off he goes again. Flying into the way of the delivery. An offside, I believe. Yes, indeed. Must be some serious centre-back goal bonus cash here at Marconi for Griffiths and Milinaric to be so eager. Chimenti looks to use his electric speed off the start. Linking up with Sekenes. Just caught in two minds there and ends up chasing his tail. Just a light haze of smoke making its way through Marconi Stadium at the moment. Quite warm earlier today in Sydney's west. Cito in once more to O'Shea. Calagiru was in a promising position for a moment, but bundled up immediately from Daniel. True. Picked off by Calagiru. Looking to counter through Farrow. In fact, it's Casella. The early ball looking for Farrow's gone to ground. The only whistle coming from a few Stallions fans. Wasn't too much in the way of protest either from Harrison Farrow. Bayantoniu turning the corner. Immediately met by Brandon Vella. Sekenes. It's a poor back pass from Cito. The foul is played. Sekenes just too eager to put Cito off that he did so illegally. Fire truck just rolling past Marconi Stadium may be the reason for the smoke haze. Doesn't look too bad on our screens though, as Danaskos cuts in on the right. Forces a corner for St. George. Casella to swing it in. Flicked away from Bayliss. It'll land to Yona. Caught it certainly in two minds between shooting and getting the ball back out wide to Casella. And how's this? Griffiths and Milinaric leading the charge on the counter-attack. And Milinaric is absolutely chopped by Bayantoniu. Right in front of the Stallions bench. Certainly no love lost there, given the happenings of last year with Bayantoniu. Part of the Rockdale City Sun setup. So many years. Both sides will use this as an opportunity to get a drink. Certainly cool down, but the heat has just been all-encompassing for much of today. I'm sure the grass is still Got a bit of warmth in it. Halftime 4-1. Olympic lead Sutherland Sharks. Kuol with 1, Demi with 2, and Ruiz Diaz with the 4th for Olympic, and Aramoto scoring for the Sharks. Tomorrow, the match of the round, the only remaining fixture after tonight, Blacktown City at home to Apia Leichhardt. Two absolute titans of the NPL New South Wales men's competition who've traded blows for many a year. Title races, former FFA Cup ties as well. Vela. Milinaric back on his feet and has not skipped a beat. George Daniel almost caught out there with that ricochet, but the recovery from both he and Buzek putting off Yona. It looks like Marconi will look to their bench just as well. Patrick O'Shea heading over to the bench. I'm not sure if that's a substitute or some tactical conversation. No, that will be his number called. So number 6, Paddy O'Shea, is now off for St. George. Just wait for confirmation on the substitutes. Is number 16, Caden Wright, who did start last weekend in that holding midfield role. Number 9, Kyle Chimenti, will make his way off the field. And I believe, based off the tape, it will be Dominic. In fact, it is Dominic Costanzo making his first appearance of the year for Marconi. A good little 20-minute stint to check the temperature on where he's at for 2025. What an absolute plethora of attacking opportunities Marconi have got. Jake True, Damian Tsakenis, Kyle Chimenti, Marte Buzek, Franco Meyer, Marco Jesic, Dominic Costanzo. Just the list goes on and on. Here he is now, Costanzo, firing it across goal. Delivery to Tsakenis. With back to goal, did well to generate the power there, but couldn't put it either side of Siren. Right. Dummied there by Souris. Danaskos picked off by Daniel. Again, Wright will have another go. Now True playing more throughout the middle, allowing Costanzo to take that left wing spot that he loves so much. So now Marte Buzek slotted over to the right-hand side. True. Just unable to sneak it over to Dominic. Casella dropping it off to Wright. It's numbers down here on this near side. They elect to go to the left, and Buzek cut that danger out. Farrow read the danger. Casella. Still with it, Casella. Daniel able to bring it down and clear. True. Slices his shot. True just going straight through the back of right, but no card given. Daniel pulled to ground by his drawstring. And now Antonio can come forward. Antonio! Bayless has copped an absolute rifle shot to the gut. Yona. Brilliant there from Daniel. And Vela will put it out over the side. Bayless in some discomfort. Have a quick look down into League One as well. Into Lions 1, Northern Tigers 2 in the 81st minute. Mounties Wanderers and UNSW FC, the match of the round. Deadlocked at 0-0 with 16 to play. Newcastle Jets, having lost their 32-game unbeaten streak, look to kickstart it. Their 2-1 lead over Hills United. James Bayless has walked out over the side. Southern District Raiders 4-0 winners over the Rydalmere Lions. MacArthur Rams and Bulls Academy 2 goals apiece. And Bankstown City, quite surprisingly, losing at home 2-4 to Dulwich Hill. Somehow the ball able to find its way to Antonio. And Griffiths. Body on the line there to just get in the way of that ball, and he's taken a bit of an awkward tumble. Marconi able to get their way out of danger, and that's a dangerous challenge there from Casella. Didn't look like there was much menace, but it was just poorly timed. The skipper Brendan Vella on the deck now for Marconi. Griffith still just testing out that ankle. Yona and Casella switching sides. Casella back facing up against Daniel. It has been a great matchup thus far. Hilton looks to put it into the corner, but it's not far wide enough that it'll stop Siren from collecting. And Milinaric just late there on right. Just watching him there. Came away from the back line pretty quickly, eyeing Bay Antonio and Caden Wright Both viable options to shut down. Vela. Now again, Saurus looking for Yona. Danaskos. Can he perhaps lead his troops into a result here at Marconi Stadium? Brown skipping through challenges. Brown went all the way, but went all the way into James Hilton's gloves. Costanzo just swinging the arms down. Just take his time, Hilton. Sito. Brought down well by Saurus. I'm not sure how he managed to poke that one through, but it's found its way to Casella now. He too lets one rip from 25 out. If that's the worst of James Hilton's troubles, I don't think he'll be too disheartened. Sito back with Siren. Yona. Griffiths. Out to Costanzo now. Upended by Wright, but comes away with it again. Drops it off to his fullback, Daniel. And two Marconi boys just having a bit of fun in this left-hand corner, chewing a few seconds off the clock. Probably be looking at about 2 or 3 minutes of added time. Physio has come on for Mate Bujek. Evangelos Saurus off for St. George. So the number 8 for St. George off and done, and I believe that is the number 12 of Thomas Dunn. In fact, yes, it is. That might be time for Bouchek's number to be called. No substitute made from Marconi just yet. Costanzo ripping one into the back of Kalajiru. Marconi will be looking to make a triple change here. I believe Liam Yulee is among those three. So Lachlan Griffiths will be one who's played immensely tonight. Got the assist for the goal to Damian Sekenis. Jake True and Mate Bujek also those called to the bench. Being replaced by number 3, Cameron Windust, number 11, Milislav Popovic, and number 12, Julian Monge. So just to recap, 24, Mate Bujek, 14, Jake True, and 5, Lachlan Griffiths off for Marconi as well. With a lackluster delivery from Costanzo, but Bayless still looking to keep the chance alive. Antonio through the middle, looking for Farrow. Milinaric. Bit awkwardly there. Antonio will put it up for Farrow. Gets the flick on. And against the odds. St. George have pulled one back here. Sunday Yona. Right after making that triple change, looking to maybe shore things up, Marconi have now got to go the other way and look to find a winner again. Farrow dropping a very late shot there on Milinaric. Still on the deck, Anton Milinaric. Hilton floats it up. To Kennis, looking to put it through here. Popovic! How on earth has he put that one over? And what looked surely to be a goal for Marconi. Brandon Villa's effort was saved, and Popovic has nearly put it in the Sydney United Sports Centre. And they may still have another chance at goal here. Costanzo. Out wide to Yuli. Milinaric. Three and a half left of regular time. Strap yourselves in and don't go anywhere. Sunday Yona. There's numbers forward for St. George. And Cameron Windust prods it free. Costanzo. Blocked there by Brown. Sunday Yona slow to his feet. It will hobble back into position. Milinaric back to Daniel. Great pirouette. The idea was there to drop it to Tsakenis. Yuli. Out to Bayliss. It's on the right side though. Vela. Bernie. Got the separation from Cito, but not the delivery he wanted. Now perhaps a Marconi. If they got anything left to pull a winner. Have St. George got the ability to well and truly steal the 3 points. Windust. Drops to Cito. Passes it back to Siren. Now it's St. George looking to chew the seconds off the clock. Kalajiru. Handball from Daniel. Right. Windust. Casella wins the second effort. Now Bernie. Look to slot it through for Tsakenis, but Jaden Sito, quite a rapid centre half. Yona, high challenge there against Cameron Windust. Five minutes of added time here. We know last time that there was a significant amount of added time here at Marconi Stadium. There was a late goal. It's been a real trend of the NPL as of late. The late show. Maybe is it to come here? Jaden Casella cutting in on the left. The touch just taking it away from him. Popovic. Right. Sprung himself into action. Antonio. Letting one fly was done. Casella and Daniel both on their haunches. Both two young talents that have just gone hammer and tong at each other. Brown wins the first and second. Antonio out to Yona. Daniel now the other way. Has Costanzo got room? Popovic in the middle. Dominic Costanzo. Just did too much with it and allowed Caden Wright the time to come and defend. And we go the other way now. Both sides got it in their heads that they can go and win this. Bay Antonio. Oh. Tell you what, I thought it had nearly caught James Hilton out. Casella. Kalajiru happy to turn back home. Farrow coming back from an offside position. It's a bit strange. Some of the St. George players are wanting to take the point and some are wanting to go for three just based off the body language of getting the game back underway. There's Fella now. Looks to have won a corner for Marconi. No Lockie Griffiths, but Anton Milinaric and Cameron Windust lurking at the back post. Milislav Popovic, another big body. It'll fall to Windust. Drops straight into the gloves of Siren. Casella. Read really well there from Yuli. Casella wanting to get things right back on track. Right through to Yona. Can he perhaps win it for St. George? Sunday Yona! And a real sense of blood rush there for Farrow at the end. Could have absolutely put his name in lights, Sunday Yarrow. Yuli. Bayless sweeps it upfield looking for Popovic. The header out wide to Costanzo. Cito. His header out to Vela. Windust to Yuli. His touch heavy. And St. George pick his pocket. Milinaric cuts it out. And Cito misskews the pass. And an enthralling tale comes to an end here at Marconi Stadium. The Stallions and St. George FC share the spoils. A terrific performance from both sides. Damien Sekenis with the goal for Marconi. And the late show from Sunday Yona, breathing life into St. George's campaign and earns them their first point of the season. Full time here from Marconi Stadium. It's the Marconi Stallions 1, St. George FC 1.
From today's match, along with the video highlights, will be available at nplnsw.com.au. Keep up to date on the latest news, pictures and happenings around the club. Like and follow us on our official Facebook and Instagram pages, Marconi Stallions FC. Just a reminder, Marconi Stallions FC will be taking on Kashima Antlers in a friendly match on Monday, the 3rd of March. Yes, right here at Marconi Stadium. Kick-off at 6 p.m. We look forward to also seeing you back here next Saturday, the 8th of March, for our next fixture, where we will take on Sydney Olympic FC. Under-20s kick-off at 5 p.m. with first grade at 7 p.m. A special thank you to all our great volunteers and ball persons for their efforts. Marconi Stallions FC thanks you all for your attendance here tonight and wish you safe travels home.